Massive anti-government protests appeared to have subsided in Iran after a deadly crackdown by the government. CBS News' London bureau reports Thursday and Friday of last week are considered to be the deadliest nights of the unrest. We're told both protesters and bystanders were killed. President Trump had threatened to take military action to support the protesters, but never did. He was asked about that earlier at the White House.
Did Arab and Israeli officials convince you to not strike Iran?
Nobody convinced me. I convinced myself. You had yesterday scheduled over 800 hangings. They didn't hang anyone. They canceled the hangings. That had a big impact.
CBS News national security contributor Sam Vinograd joins us now. Sam, thanks for being here. So we can report the government is handing out coupons worth around $7 for people to buy food. Fairly a useless gesture because of the cost. So clearly the underlying economic issues aren't being solved overnight.
That's definitely true, Lindsay. The rampant inflation, the devalued currency, and just the overall cost of living increases, not to mention the repression that the regime has instituted, have not gone away. And that's why if there is some sort of pause in the protests and some sort of pause in how the regime is responding, that may be short-lived. The underlying economic tensions are still there. And President Trump, you just played the clip, but President Trump had threatened lethal action if the government used its intelligence and security services to unleash violence against unarmed protesters. That did happen. He then did move his red line to public executions or executions, and said that that would be the red line for U.S. Military action against Iran. So his red line did shift. It does look like the protests may have calmed down a bit for now, not only because the internet is down in Iran, which is creating problems in terms of organization. So we are in a wait and see mode as to what the situation in Iran will look like in the days ahead.
So what are you going to be watching for? Where do you see this going?
Well, certainly watching the movement of U.S. military assets back to the region. We have an enhanced military presence that will be in place in the coming days. Certainly watching to see whether the United States returns the personnel that it had drawn down at a military base in Qatar. That was done at the Qatari request. And or if the United States draws down any other personnel or assets in the region to protect them in the event that we strike Iran and Iran hits back in some way. So definitely keeping an eye on all of that, and certainly whether the protests continue, whether they increase, and if the government responds with the brutal repression that has really categorized its actions to date.
Sam Vinograd, thank you.
Thanks.